When Paul said, if you continue in the faith, it's not what many believers have been taught that means. A lot of believers read Colossians 1:23 and they think, so my salvation is depending on me continuing in the faith? But let's look at the verses before that. Paul says all the fullness of God lived in Jesus. Then he says that God reconciled all things to himself through him. And then he tells believers, you were alienated in your minds, but now you've been reconciled. This is past tense, finished. He didn't say you might be reconciled. He said you already are. So when Paul then says, if you continue in the faith, he's not talking about getting unsaved. He's not saying that God will abandon you if you struggle. He's not warning about losing sonship. He's warning about losing your peace and losing your freedom, losing your rest. Colossians was written to believers who were being pulled away from Jesus into religion and rules and practices and self-effort and formulas and philosophy. So Paul's saying, stay planted in Christ, not because you'll lose salvation, but because you'll lose your rest. You'll lose peace. Because when you mix Jesus with religion, peace disappears. And when you add pressure to grace, freedom fades. When you leave Christ as your source, you end up empty again, not unsaved, just exhausted. Then Paul says, Christ in you, the hope of glory. And if Christ is in you, your salvation isn't fragile. So Paul isn't threatening believers, he's protecting them. He's saying, don't trade life for religion, don't trade sonship for striving, and don't trade Jesus for anything.